Oh my god, what's that sound? Oh yeah! It's the Kool-Aid Man, and I'm battling him again. This is a roulette. We're gambling and playing Pokemon at the same time. Isn't that awesome? So I Thunder Fang him because I don't really know what to do. I don't want to overpredict, and I get the flinch on the first turn. So I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a great battle so far. I've already gotten hacks in the first turn. So I Thunder Fang again, and he decides to Hidden Power Ground, and yeah, I'm surprised by how little that does, because after leftovers it doesn't even do 100, so now he gets swaggered, and like, I make a blood vein appear off my head, and I get all mad at him, and that causes his attack to raise, and he gets confused, and a duck flies into him, and yeah, this is looking pretty good so far. We both eat apples because we're hungry, and I psych up because I like having special powers of being able to copy his stats and not get confused. So he hits himself with confusion again because the ducks are flying at such a close range of him, and he eats more apples somehow, and I Thunderfang, and that takes him down because he's Entei, and yay. So I eat more apples, and I'm at 256, and it's like, haha, 256 color, lol. So I Thunderfang his incoming Smeargle, and I'm like, it's probably Focus Sashed anyway, so it doesn't really matter, and he dies, so, wow. I eat more apples, and he brings in his Twin Sight, which is his Yen Mega, and I go for a Swagger, but he protects himself, but it doesn't really matter. I didn't want to waste HP on my other move. So I'm at Banana's HP, which is 292, and I'm yellow, so awesome. And now I'm going to have to switch out Raikou eventually. And he bug buzzes because he likes buzzing in my ears, and somehow I'm still asleep after that because this is a really loud buzz considering how much it did. And he gets more speed boosts because speed boost Yen Mega is fail, and I switch out to my Entei, which is like, oh, I have an Entei too, and it's shiny, and it's hacked. So, yeah, he bug buzzes, and that does nothing hardly, and I get air slashed now because he wants to get flinch hacks, but he doesn't get it, and I Swagger. And I was like, alright, I'm going to be able to do a epic Entei sweep with Swagger and Psych Up and speed boosts, but yeah, he's incredibly fast, and he still outspeeds me and whatnot, so maybe if it was Raikou I could outspeed him and whatnot, but who cares. Anyways, he's confused, and he air slashes me, and confusingly he kills me. Oh well. So he eats more apples with his... Wait, how can he eat apples? I mean, he's got a bug mouth. He can't fit an apple in there. What the crap? So he goes out to his Ditch Digger, predicting my Thunder Wave, and since he's in the ditch, it doesn't hit him because, like, in the news, they tell you if you're outside to go into a ditch if there's a thunderstorm or something like that. So I set up a sub because there's no water around, but, like, you know, subs can, like, do a lot of damage anyway. But he Earthquakes, and it's like, oh, my sub somehow manages to survive, and I go for Earth... and Avalanche, yes. An Earth Avalanche, because there's no snow around. And, I don't know why I keep saying I think it's because of Banana and Pit. I don't know. Joe, whatever his name is. Anywho, he goes for another Earthquake, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to break my sub now, but I know that one won't break it because I have prior experience, and by prior experience, I mean X-Force Stick It. So I go for another Avalanche, and yeah, that does pretty much lull damage, and, I eat more apples, having a good time. He switches out, and I misclick Thunder Wave, and that is an epic misclick because it ends up Thunder Waving and paralyzing his incoming, predicting a Avalanche Houndoom. And now I go for a substitute as he goes for a Will-O-Wisp, which is lol funny, and I eat more leftovers, and I return the favor by hitting him in the head. And now he pulses in the dark and tries to molest my sub, but the sub doesn't have any private parts, so he can't do anything. And he gets a critical hit, which didn't matter, because I know that any special attack pretty much will break my subs. So I return the favor, and he gets paralyzed, which is gay. And I restore some more HP with my leftovers, and now I set up another sub because I feel like it. And he pulls out a freaking flamethrower and decides to burst me with it, which breaks my sub somehow. I guess it makes the metal too hot, so I evacuate the sub. And then I eat more apples, and I grab the flamethrower from him and hit him from the head, and that returns the favor by hitting him on the head, and he dies, which is win. And I ate more apples with my non-existent mouth. So he brings out Pikachu now, and I'm like, what kind of Pikachu is this? So I go for Thunder Wave, and he substitutes, and I'm like, oh, I'll Focus Punch. And I really stopped doing that. And I go to Chris now, because I know Chris doesn't really matter, and Pikachu can pretend to be Andrew, so he Grass Knots, and I'm like, that's going to do nothing. And it does nothing. So I get all my HP back with my Black Sludge, and he Thunderbolts me, and that's kind of weird, but yeah, this Pikachu is named Andrew because he eventually owns me, but I go for a Sludge Bomb, and that breaks his sub because Pikachu subs are stupid, and they are terrible. And besides, it's a bomb, so obviously it's going to break the sub. And he Thunderbolts, and that's a dead Weezing. Yes, it is, a dead Weezing. Oh, ha, ha. He's a Jewish boy. Anyways, I bring out my Raichu, and he's like, oh my god, Raichu. So I wish, and he goes for a substitute because he's gay like that. And I go for the Hidden Power. And isn't that weird? Kool-Aid is gay flavored or something? I don't know. Anywho, his substitute bursts into flames as my Hidden Power Fire hits it, and he goes for a Thunderbolt, and I get my wish, and Thunderbolts just does nothing to me now. And he goes out to his Ditch Digger, predicting a Thunderbolt, I guess, I don't know. And I go for Hidden Power Fire, and I'm like, oh, I'm timid, so I'm going to outspeed you and surf next turn because I'm awesome like that. And I surf, and the ditch gets filled up with water, and he drowns and he dies. Hooray. It's too bad it wasn't an avalanche, because he could have digged out of that, but since it was water, he couldn't dig. So he brings out his Twin Sight, even though that last thing was Knuckles, so he could have been able to swim, I don't know. So he brings out his Twin Sight, and I Thunderbolt it, because I'm timid, and I'm faster, and it's funny, and he dies. And I'm like, oh, for some reason. And he brings out Pikachu, and I'm like, aha! So I decided to show out my last guy, because I wanted him to see it, and it's my Silver Duck, because I can't afford gold. And my Silver Duck dies to a Thunderbolt to the face. And now I bring out my Raichu, it turns into a broom and sweeps the rest of his team, which is just Pikachu. So yeah, I decided to show him a real Thunderbolt, Raichu! Or whatever Lieutenant Church's voice is. I did a better impression earlier. Good game, Kool-Aid.